You finally do it. You open up. You share that sadness and anxiety or frustration that's been sitting in your head for a long period of time. And the person listening, they get it. They nod their eyes, they agree with you, they share their struggles, they give you an advice, and you feel good. You just feel that relief, that pressure just going away. But that exact moment of relief is the trap. It's an illusion that feels like a connection, but in reality is just ruining your life slowly. And in today's series of self-improvement, we're going to discuss exactly that. But let's be very clear. The empathy, it's not the enemy here. The trap isn't with this feeling of being understood. It's what we do with this feeling. The empathy trap is the illusion that when we share things, we connect that with making progress. It's like a necessary part for validation in this rough stage of you just trying to do something. To give you an example, let's say that you are trying to become a great cook. In order to do that, you have to start learning the basics, like how to chop vegetables, which knife when to use, how to sharpen a knife, which pan you have to use, how to properly season your food, and so on and so on. Let's say that you're now learning how to chop an onion. You take your first onion and you start chopping it. And like every single normal person, the first onion isn't the perfect thing. You take second, you take third, you take fifth, you take 10th, but something doesn't work. You start doing a little research. You spot some mistakes of yours and you start doing it again. You take your 10th, your 15th, your 20th onion and you're making it somehow good, but it's still not enough. So you keep your head high and just continue up until you reach your 100th onion. And at your 100th onion, you start to see that you're getting somewhat good. So in this exact situation from your 10th to your 100th onion, there will be a lot of time you don't feel like making progress. You feel just stuck. Something is not working. And you start thinking that maybe this thing isn't for you. And you quite want to share that. You find the right person, you share that, and they agree. The thing is that most people ask the wrong person. Like probably you will ask a friend or someone close to you, but you have to ask someone who is in this field, because asking someone who will agree with you is only going to make the situation worse, because the idea of sharing things comes in sharing with someone who can help, not person who will understand. When you can't chop an onion good enough, when you ask a family member, they will probably tell you the things that you already know. Whereas if you ask the head chef, for example, you will probably be roasted to a crisp, because the great cooks are usually with quite strong character, but you will understand where exactly you make mistakes, at which exact moment you can improve. Yes, sure, you'll be somehow abused, but you will get information. Even though you didn't get that validation, you didn't get that moment of relief, you found how to solve your problem, which is way more important. Because later on, after this conversation with the head cook, you will chop it way better. Whereas if you talk it with your friend, you feel that relief, but the problem will still be there. The best way to think about that empathy trap is like a painkiller for a broken leg. You break your leg, you take a painkiller, the pain just goes away. But in reality, this painkiller doesn't connect your bones at the right place. Your leg is still broken. And to put that into perspective, you sharing the problem with your friend is like the painkiller for the leg. You feel that it is working, but it's not fixing the bone. Whereas if you talk it with the head chef, you're just going exactly in the hospital and people are aligning your bones. It will take a little longer to get things going because you've been used to one thing, and then for some period of time you have to learn quite another thing, but that's fine because at the end you're making improvements. So instead of hiding from the enemy, sometimes the best thing you can do is just face it. Stop looking for validation. Start looking for answers. The validation is quick, comforting, it's make you feel good, but it doesn't offer a real nourishment. It doesn't solve your problem. And if you think that you have to feel somehow good about what you do, you have to feel always motivated, you have to feel always full of energy doing what you do, you're probably wrong. A lot of the time, you just have to rely on being disciplined. A lot of times you find that you're making tons of mistakes. You feel like you're not getting through things. You're not learning new things. You've been stuck. You've been doing the exact same mistakes over and over again. So you feel sad. You will feel like you're not getting any progress. And the best thing that you can do is just move on. Yes, sure, this will build up some sort of stress in you, but you just have to move on. Because the only way to succeed in something is just pushing through the hard things. And if you think that once you reach a certain level of greatness, you will stop feeling it, you're wrong. I started seeing this like a couple of months ago. Even at the highest level, people still feel exact same way as you feel right now. But the difference is that they just are getting used to these things. They get used to that at the beginning everything is hard. They're used to that at some point they will have a lot of stress. They will feel like they won't get there. The things won't go as planned. But they just move on. They just do every single thing possible. They just know that either if they share it or they just move on, they will feel the exact same way. Because after they share, one day later and everything is back on. So they just lost some time and they just prefer to use this time to put it into avoiding particular mistakes that will sabotage their plan. And this is quite the correct way to view things. Instead of just sharing, instead of just looking for validation, you might just look out for another things that you can add up into your work so you can be sure that you will achieve what you want. And so how to fix it? Well, there are two main things that you just have to do. Every single time that you feel like you want to share things, just ask yourself why. Why do you want to share it? Is it just stressing you? Is it just something that been bothering you? What it is? Is it a feeling or it is a real problem? If it's just a feeling, you can just simply move on because feelings shouldn't be related with your work. You may feel that you won't succeed, but in reality to succeed. You may feel like you will succeed, but in reality you won't. The only thing that matters is just what you do, because your actions define your success. And the second thing is that if you have a problem, to who are you going to share that? Is it a family member that has no clue what to do in this situation? Because if they haven't been in your shoes, you won't get a lot of value. Or you're going to talk to someone who is in that field, who has more experience than you, who has been in your situation, so you will get your problem solved. I think the engineers were that, but they have a extremely good saying. I don't remember the exact words, but it's like your problem was solved somewhere by someone. You just have to find the right textbook and adjust the numbers to your situation. And this comes perfectly in our situation because your problem was solved somewhere. If you try to lose weight, you won't be the first person who's been struggling with training, not being able to train enough or not being able to eat enough. So you just have to find the right person. You have to share your problems with the right person. If it's just a feeling, you can simply ignore it because it is either going to lose your time and you won't get anything out of it at the end of the day. But if it's a problem, you just have to know with who you're going to share it. Alright, so this was for today's video. I hope it was worth watching. I hope you enjoyed it and we'll see you in the next video.